people might join in. Hello from the printer room, where I still have a broken 3D printer. Recapping the events of this week. What have I done? I have swapped multiple nozzles. I have changed the hot end. I have, at great length today, swapped this extruder gear, which has a nice groove worn in it. And yet, every time I go and print, the filament will do one print, and then it gets ground down and snaps off. I am now at a loss as to what to do. I have finally got the new transmitter to work, but the motor that I had to rewire because it was now going backwards is going backwards, despite me having changed nothing apart from using this transmitter instead of the one that's over there. So that means I now get to pull apart the whole thing and wire it back the other way. Joy! Anywho, I hope you're well. I have got new stuff. Unfortunately, the new stuff is also not particularly functional, so hopefully I can fix that tonight. So, no Billy the Wonder Dog, he's already asleep. Sorry, you can see plenty of him in his Halloween shorts. I have new stuff. I have a Philips CDL arm clock, a model AJ393510, and I don't think it has a manufacture date on it, but it seems to do most things. But one thing it does not do at the moment is play CDs. Oh, and the other thing, that this was advertised in excellent condition, apart from whatever it is that was eating the cord. So I will probably just end up docking the cord off at one of the less chewed sections, although that would leave quite a short cord because it's generally chewed everywhere. So whether it's a child or a pet, I mean, it's even broken through the insulation there, or put a new cord on it, chewed up there. So the eBay listing was less than accurate, unfortunately. So there we go. Let's test it out. Hopefully there's no copyright strike for this. I'll turn it on. And last night it certainly didn't play a CD. Some scratches on the front, but I'm sure I'll be able to polish them out, possibly. Let me see that's volume, so let's see if it'll play. Will it make a liar out of me? It's spinning. And error, nothing. So hopefully this can be resurrected with at least a lens clean. If I can, yeah, there is a lens there. So let me get some IPA and see if I can clean that. 1 second. One bottle of isopropyl alcohol and some cotton tips. disc isn't that dirty. It's got a bit of fluff on it, but not much. So let's see if this makes a difference, shall we? Who's going to predict no? It's a no kind of week. I wouldn't be shocked. So I'll just sort of tilt this up and wipe his eyeball. Not much coming off it, so there's a bit of crapola in here. I think it has been stored in a very dirty place wherever it was stored. I wonder if maybe I should try and clean some of the mud out of the inside. I wonder if that would make a difference. We know it spins. I don't know whether the lens actually moves. I don't know whether I can really test that, but well, let's try a disc again. Use the old soft shirt cleaning method for the disc to make sure the disc is as clean as I can possibly make it. While I'm doing that, I might warm up the hot end. Oh, the hot end is still warm. Am I going to raise that thing and take off the nozzle? At this stage, I'm really at a loss as to what it could be, other than to say, well, it's time to replace the printer at 4 years old and thousands of hours work. I don't know. Right, play. Is it on? Oh, that might have been pause. And I'm going to say no. It does not. I have been bitten by the gods of eBay again. Never mind. Maybe what I should do is try and turn around the printer cabinet and then point the camera in while I attempt to at least unclog the nozzle, because it's one of those disheartening days. Oh, it tried to make a noise. Oh, it's making some noise. I made some difference. Wow. Some sound. That's more sound than yesterday, but yeah. Disappointing. This is my Christmas present. Can't say it's a rousing success, can I? Then again, now's not the time to wallow. It is what it is. It's broken. I'll see if I can recover some of my costs. But short of that, not much else I can do. This is obviously a hell of a clog in the hot end, but why it's clogging like that, I do not know. Now, I'm going to try and turn this around. And I'll try, while that's trying to sort itself out, I'll try and point the camera in here. Now, I don't know how I'll go with this, but here we go. That's what I'm left with. It'll print the first few layers, then obviously it clogs, and then we're stuck with nothing again. So I'll cut off all the cable ties that I have only just put on yesterday, and I'll go again from the top. It could even be that maybe the extruder has fixed it, and it just needs a whole heap of little incremental adjustments, but it just doesn't seem that way. It just seems like it's not doing what it should. Alternatively, I am wearing very unstylish footwear because, funnily enough, after 11 months off of sport and then coming back for 2 weeks, some niggling little foot injuries are occurring. One in particular that it feels like I've got a big strip of sticky tape on the bottom of my foot. Of course, you never Google your symptoms. You shouldn't. Alright, hang that up there. If you didn't know, that's where you hang it. Alright, and then because this is still 207 degrees, so this is my new heater block. So that was changed, that was changed. This is a new piece of tube. That's a new extruder gear. Basically, the whole thing has been, unless the motor itself, over how many years of being used, has just given up the ghost. Maybe it has. Well, the good news is I'm never going to get a copyright strike for this music. You'd be hard-pressed to pick it up. If it starts playing, warn me. So I'm just going to try and undo. Oh no, this nozzle doesn't fit. Of course it doesn't. This is the world in which I'm finding myself. Now, don't wallow. I have to try and remember which way to turn this, because I want to... So if I was turning it in, I'd be going that way, so I want to go that way. Oh, here we go. Some stuff's coming out. I wonder how monumental the clog's going to be. I can recognise the song it's trying to play. Oh, there it goes. Let me see if I can fish that out before it burns a hole through the tent. Before I burn my arm on the... Well, yeah, there's some crap on the threads. So we're officially in Clogsville. But that's also because I couldn't rid the hot end of... Oh, all the couplers are new as well. So, be interesting to see. Maybe I clean it again. I suppose at least it's getting a workout. It's trying to read the lasers. Or is the laser stuck and it's only reading one part of the disc? Yeah, there's crap on the end of it. and a bit of a plug. Alright, pull that off. And this one's going to come off that way. Alright. I'll try and cut this off. Try and save it. Because I'm fast running out of money with this printer. Of course, it only happens at the time that I am actually teaching 3D printing at work and need my printer to do some printing. So let's have a look at the end of the filament. There it is. I see it. So it's getting flattened out. Again, it's getting flattened out on the gears, but is it getting flattened out and causing the clog, or is the clog causing it to flatten out? Oh my goodness. Maybe the mechanism has just freed itself up because it's now playing. It's actually playing. That's pretty incredible. Maybe it's just moved all that crap out of the mechanism. All right, so now I need to find some PTFE tubing that I don't care about, like this bit, which I will shove through to try and clear the clog, which is what you do. You have to sort of shove it in. You get these. I mean, this kind of looks like the white. Oh, no, I didn't have white in there. I had grey in it, but I've only had blue in it. The trouble is, it prints fine on the first print after doing this, but it's the second print that it stuffs up on every time. It looks quite clear down the hole. I wish I could point the camera down there, but I can't. So it's got a new heater block, a new heat break, a new nozzle. What's this? Is this an issue? That says it's a 0.4 millimeter nozzle. Let's get some new nozzles. Love one of those little thumb ratchet things to put it in. But that is not the nozzle for this hot end. Let me see. Maybe this is the problem. Where is that teeny tiny Allen key to just make sure that grub screw is nipped up. So it's I won't make the same mistake of touching it with my hands because it really hurt last time. It is still playing. So now we're down to only the problem of the cat or whatever has been eating the cord. All right. This is still probably long enough to reuse. So let's go through the process of a nozzle change, which involves taking off the PTFE coupler and putting it back on, which isn't always the easiest job. I'll try and do it like this. There is a little bit of anti-seize in there. And then about that much of the tube will need to go into there. But you want to tighten up the nozzle part way, alright, so just till it starts to go, and then you want to put in the other Bowden coupler, which is this thing that goes over here on the extruder. Alright, well, I'll turn that down because I don't want to get in trouble for music. And we'll tighten this one, because that can be tight. And then we'll put probably this clean end. Might need a little bit of a clean up again because it was a bit squished with the right, so that should go down about that far. And then what I like to do is I will cut this PLA. Don't worry, James from Fix It Fingers, this is not the Makita PLA. I have ordered it though. Alright, I'm just going to have to get in the way to feed that through. And then what I like to do is actually just push this into that coupler. It's just easier than trying to sight it. Okay. And the silicon sock, which will be very hot still. So wait, there it is. It's down here. The bed's still hot. The silicon sock's got this sort of icky, you know, this is like burnt resin from filament that's obviously just been seeping out. But you know, essentially I have replaced all the parts of the hot end, so I can't see why replacing the hot end would make a difference now. You know, unless there is some kind of defective component for in the hot end that's been assembled. Silicon sock back on. Everything's tightened up now, so hopefully maybe that makes a difference. That's in. Let's put the fan back on. The fan's always a little bit tricky because the wiring wants to get tangled up. Just hang it there. No, you don't want it to bear its own weight for too long. I should have put this screw on the screwdriver before I started. So that's in. That's where it should be. Get a screw in to hold it. Right, next one in. I might have to reslice a model. My Bowden tubing is getting ever so undersized now. And yes, the size of your tubing does count sometimes against you. I go over to my parts drawers over here and I look for cable ties, which are in this drawer, small zip ties, which I still have some. I'm trying to use all the ones in the bottom of the container and not the dead thing that's still in my container. So I'll use those. I know you can throw them. Coming back around. And I'll try and zip tie this together again to support the cable. And I never bother cutting them short anymore because, God, why would I bother? In about a few hours, I'll be doing this again. I also don't think it's I don't think it can be humidity because I don't know if you can see that humidity rating, 10%. So there's really no reason why it would be humidity at all. I'll put a third one in because I'm feeling nice. Oh. Now, one thing it could be is the bed out of level. So again, that nozzle that I've gone through so many this week in the bin, because I'm into Gavin and Stacey, and I'll just clear off the failed print. Maybe by the look of that impression that it's left on the glue, maybe this is too low. Maybe it's too close to the bed, and that's causing the binding. I'm not sure. I'm just going to put this in the bin. And then I'll re-level the bed, because why not? All right, put that one on there. That clips in. All right, re-leveling, and that will involve. Just check the music. Yep. A page from the 4-bit 4-digit diagnostic card PC analyzer version 3.2 advanced. Now for PLA, 1 thickness of paper with slight drag. Slight. I do know that there are people that really go to town on prepare, auto home. Looking for that and that. But the thing is, this will work for 1 print. Will it work for 2 prints? That has been the issue the whole time. I don't know. So we let that go down. I'm storing all my filaments in the back there because it's dry. It's not humid at all. It would be silly to try and store them, at the moment anywhere else, because it wouldn't be as dry as it is in there. It's drier than English wit. Okay, so I'll try and sort of scroll down here. Can't really see the display, but I'm just going to turn off the steppers, disable steppers, which means that this should move freely. And these are all meant to be in their home position, and then there are some leather. I think people are actually saying this is called tramming, apparently. Tramming, named after the drummer from Spiderbait, I think. So my strip of paper, and I'll try not to bump anything. So I've got to try and get this paper, now it's up to temperature. Maybe that's a bit too much drag. I mean, normally I say if you can push forward. Now that. There you go. You can still push it forward, but if I tighten it up, it stops being able to push forward. So that's my measure of it. I don't know if anyone else measures it the same way. Now over here, nothing. So And sometimes changing one will affect the others, so often the case. Now that's probably quite tight. Again, I can't push it forward on under its own steam, so I'll back it off a little bit. It's quite hot. No, I've made it worse. There we go, so that's tight now. It's got a bit too much drag, so I'm going to fraction of a turn off. A fraction of a turn off. Sort of like when someone tells you their favourite Star Trek film. Too tight. Still too tight. So I've heard, by the way. Also, if somebody tells you the 13th Doctor is their favourite, bit of a turn off. Now, I wouldn't mind a little bit more. I always second guess myself because you want it. PLA doesn't like to be squished. You want it far enough down that it will travel in a straight line and stick. And it's kind of hard to say, oh, does that feel as draggy as the one before? Sometimes not. Oftentimes I do this and I get it so wrong. So wrong it may as well be wearing flares. If I let the slack off. I think that's okay. It's left a bit of a sort of shiny indent on the paper. So I'm hoping that's enough drag. Maybe it's too much still. Maybe my whole way of doing this is out of touch. So the next thing I need to do is I'm going to reslice a model. Don't worry, not in a sort of, in a way that would attract criminal charges. But I'm going to get a calibration model and just double check my settings. So I do apologize. I hope you can still see what's going on. I'm just going to clear the build plate. I'm going to open an XYZ calibration. Can I organize these by? No. Group, sort by name. XYZ calibration cube. And I don't know whether I can. I'll turn it around and see if you can kind of. No, that's wrong. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. I don't know what you can see at the moment. I'm very sorry. So I want this CCR10. I might just call it cube. I can hear that music, so I'm hoping YouTube can't. It says it'll take 32 minutes. I want to double check 10% support. I also I don't want supports, so that will make it a bit faster. I want the fan speed at 100%. Now, I think I had 4 millimeters of retraction, so I'm going to go back to 4, which I don't know if that's too much. I'm going to slow down my print speed to 45. Just in case that makes a difference. And I'm also going to lower my build plate temperature down to 210 from 215. Lower my nozzle temperature. Now, that goes against all the rules of when you're trying to do things with 3D printing, because you generally want to only change one thing at a time, but time is very much a factor. So I'm now at the stage of throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. The Dr. Cox Tylenol strategy of, what's that? Open her mouth and just throw some at her. Whatever sticks, that's the right dosage. I still haven't even taken my screen cover off. Maybe the other thing I need to do is actually open this up and dust it out. I'm sure it's full of crap. All right. There's the cube. So we should be able to observe it and see what happens, because it's only got a couple of degrees to go up until it's at temperature, because everything was done. I better actually feed some filament through. There we go. Oh, just in time. Well, there's some stuff starting to come through. What is that grinding noise? Don't worry, it was the roll of filament at the back. Exciting times. That blob seemed okay. It seemed like it was a reasonable distance. I'm hoping even putting the clip there, maybe it's losing grip on the PTFE and the clog tries to push it out. It does appear like there is a layer going down. And at the moment, I'm not hearing any clicking from the extruder, so I'm hoping that will help. But I'm at the point, I'm almost at the point of going, well, hello, one viewer. If you're just seeing this now, you should probably fast forward right to the live part of the live stream. Hello, 2 viewers. Don't fall into the trap of I should have said it at the start. Make sure you're watching it the live bit if you're watching it at the time that it still says live. Otherwise, you might miss out on something extraordinary. Doubtful though. So anyone that's joined us, they've both buggered off. Hey, it's just a printer. I wonder if the people that are watching live have just gone back and rewound it to the start, going, no, it was more interesting then. We've still got music. Uh-huh. Oh, Jesus. Yep. So there we go. All I'm guessing is that the mechanism sliding back and forth was stuck, and it was only reading one section of the disc, and as it's slowly worked all the crap off the rails and stuff, all the dirt and dust that was inside it, it's probably fixed itself. Although it probably really means that somebody should open it up and lube it, but maybe if I open it up to put a new cord on it. Look at all the junk in here, man. I should vacuum that out. Well, let's see how that goes. I'm doing lots of... The vacuum model's got me perplexed. I don't know why it suddenly goes in reverse and drives in circles when I had it wired the other way, but now it does. Scary. And I need to work out how to do a mix in OpenTX, but I think that's just a problem for another day. To be fair, how's this layer going down? Trouble is, you won't really see anything until it's up, but it'd be interesting if I print this and then go to print another one, does the other one make it through? Because that's the test. It always prints successfully the first time. Will it do it again? And what's interesting is that every time something has been changed, it prints fine. Like, it's the clog that is causing the hassles. But like I was saying before, I'm not sure whether the clog is the cause or the clog is a symptom. I don't know how to test that either. Because, it did it the first night and I changed the nozzle and then it printed. Did it second time, I changed the tube and the couplers and then it printed. It did it a third time, I cleared the clog, cleared the hot end, changed the heater block and the heat break, and it worked. Then today, changed the extruder gear and it works once. So whatever it is that's the underlying cause of the clog is still there. Is it the level? Is it just that the motor is not up to the task anymore? I mean, it has printed for many hours. Has it done its last? But there's no clicking this time, which maybe is a good sign. But it'll be interesting to come back in a few minutes and say, "Hi, Matt. Hi. Don't worry about missing the notification. You haven't missed a thing. The printer wasn't fixed." That's the notification. And for some reason, on the new transmitter, a motor that I had already reversed the wires on so it would drive the thing forward and was driving forward is now going backwards. Other than that, you've not missed a thing. So all I've done is just live done more maintenance and cleared a clog and cut off a bit of Capricorn tube and tried my best to level it again and see if that makes a difference. And there was a different kind of nozzle in it, so I've put a regular one back in and changed some settings. And as I was saying to the good viewers at home that were watching, it's now just throw mud at the wall and whatever sticks. That was the solution. So that's it. That's all I can do. And pray that I've got it right. And my CD player cord has been eaten by something. There's lots of little teeth marks in it. And then the CD player wasn't working, but I left it running while it was just trying to make some sound. And now... now it's working. So there's that. And I'm just printing a calibration cube. Although I know the first one's going to print fine, it will be the second one that won't print fine. So I want to know what's going on there, especially in a time where I'm going to need to print 19 mobile phone holders this week. So I think my Year 8 class won't get their little 3D printed trinkets this week. Ugh, but never mind. Another hit by Nirvana. What else can I show? Oh, I've got more. I've got progress. I have been doing some carpentry with this. I've been working with dead trees this week. Sorry. For the Kirby handle for Jaws. And I made this wonderful piece of dead tree with some cutouts. And basically this is to slide into there to make an extra long handle that I can then put the octagon on and bore a hole through for the handles. So that's where that's up to. It's all cut down to size. I've got my brown plastic to go over here. I'm going to have to pull this sticker off and hopefully heat it up and use it as a template, I think. And then this part all gets painted silver with maybe some chamfers and whatnot on it to try and disguise it, and a bolt hole through it so that the cord hook can still go on. But other than that, it's taking some shape. It is very difficult to see, but I have cleaned up in the workshop. There is actually quite a large patch of open spare ground back there, and I've been taking to trying to make some more cutting boards. So I actually did a short live stream at work when I was gluing this up. This is the way that we deal with planer snipe. Basically, we lose about 200 mil on either end of the board. So put something through on either end that's sacrificial, and then we cut these off after we've planed it down. But we need some non-stick paper at work for that. So, we'll run it through the planer to clean that face up first, and then run it through that way, or maybe run it through that way because that's quite lumpy and bumpy, and clean that up, then flip it and clean that one up, cut it to width. And this is probably going to end up being like a trivet or something like that, but something that you can put something hot on top of and not hurt your counters. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you made it back okay. That's a good thing. No Billy tonight. Billy's already asleep in the house, as I will be very soon because it's been quite a lot. I don't know whether it's just the heat today. I mean, it wasn't particularly hot, but yeah, made it. Sorry, just a giant talking eye, wasn't it? I might maybe try and gently maneuver this back. Let's see if I can do that. Can I do that? That's why I put this thing on wheels. Maybe I can. There we go. And we're back. So yeah, it is actually looking slightly tidier out there. I know you wouldn't know by looking at it, but what I can do, I'll go and stand. There is actually some clear space. So that's handy. And I forgot your USB cord again. I'm very sorry. I'm going to try and download the... you know what I was thinking? Maybe somewhere I've got the Cybermat mix, and maybe I can just download that onto this transmitter and adjust it from there instead of trying to make something. But then again, it'd be good skills to be able to make a mix, I suppose. But we'll see how we go. That was the gear. That was ever so slightly knackered. That's not even from me trying to get the thing off. That is just like the teeth are even shredded on it. So it can only help. Maybe this is just a series of smaller problems that have just compounded into this one mega ball ache of a problem. Who knows? That's just the way it is. So, well, the new stuff is that that's now working, I think. Yep. Yep, that's working. It has been chewed to death by something. There are so many little teeth marks in it. It even actually looks like it might have been a bird because they're not sort of... This is a child. Could well be a kid. I hope the kid's all right. It's just full of these little nicks. You know, but then again, these are quite uniform. I almost want to be some kind of forensic specialist, but there you go. You can see the blue core in there. So it would leave me with a very short cord. If I were to cut it back to where the first lot of teeth marks are, you know, it'd leave me with about a foot. Not that the power board is that far from the bed, but maybe internally it's not that bad, and I can possibly bodge in another cord. I don't know, hey. Thank you to Matt for putting me onto one of those. Yeah, 80s techno woodworm. That's what it is. And then I don't know if I mentioned that before, but the transmitter that wasn't working, I turned it on, turned it off, turned it on, got nothing at all. And then what I did is, I should probably set all those to the medium, into the middle. I sprayed some contact cleaner down it and just went, just switched it on and off hundreds of times. Still did nothing. I left it on, and I guess the, hello, sweetie. And Heather. No, I'm joking. I left it turned on, and then suddenly it said, "Welcome to the Trinity 9XR Pro." So it's got. Oh, look, I've managed to figure out how to call it Jaws. I'm just can't really do much else. And also, it's the springy stick is on this side. So is that mode 2? Might be. I don't mind. Like, it doesn't bother me. To be fair, I'm right-handed, and so Scott. So that would probably be better to just sort of have throttle and steering on one stick, whether or not you can do it. Or is it better to sort of throttle, steer, and if you don't do anything, it just drives forward like the Cybermat, and then just a switch somewhere, ailerons or something, to be able to, you know, turn on the lights would be great. That's kind of all we need. But not having much luck at the moment. I say it's going, but then it's since switching over to that transmitter, it now drives in circles again because one motor's going backwards, and I haven't changed any wiring of anything else, so I'm not sure what's gone on. And they're all with they've all got JST plugs, so I can't have plugged something in backwards. It's really weird, but that's okay. It's about halfway through. I'm still not hearing any clicking from the extruder, so and I would only ever hear clicking on the push. So I'm guessing that maybe the temperature is better because it was at 215. Maybe it was melting it too fast. But this PLA is 210 to 235, so it's not. You know, 215 was not a bad temperature, but the other thing I've done is slow the print speed down. Maybe it was just too hot, too fast. I don't know. That's two things I will never, ever be accused of. I will never be too hot, and I'll never be too fast. Well, I missed. There you go. So there's probably not much else to do other than to say that hopefully you have a good week. And if your week turns out to be a bit crap, I'm saying crap because it's the G-rated stream, even though I've wanted to swear multiple times. If your week turns out to have been a bit rubbish, I'm sorry to hear that. And I hope you have a good one. I'm hoping to be back into finishing things. I know, I thank you for that. I did look at the video for that, and it's far too advanced for me. I don't mind swapping it around so much as I just want to change the mix so that you can just have, left is, is power and right is steer. That's fine by me. Does not bother me at all. If only you could just swap the two sticks, but on this you've got to like disassemble them, and I think I did it once and I wasn't keen to do it again. I think I did it on a 9X. And I went, yeah, no. But that's okay. All right, I am going to finish. I'm going to quickly, sorry for the Blair Witch camera. I'm going to move that back up, and there we go. I'm going to finish and have a lovely week, everyone. We've run a little bit earlier than scheduled, but that's okay. Started late, made up for it by leaving early. That's a good. There's not that saying about work. Like, I arrived at work late, but I made up for it by leaving early. Bit of a squeak. Something. It's probably the lead screw might need a lube as well. Probably wouldn't hurt. I wonder what you'd use for that. Silicone spray, something like that. Just don't get it on your filament. I don't know. Anywho, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one, on stream number 28, which I haven't come up with an interesting name for, but I'll just do the awkward bit now.